Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you and this person down here that will be coming on very soon, wherever you may be from, whatever time zone you may be in. Welcome to the Hawk Report episode number 6. Yes, the Build a Lineup Gold series. Welcome into the channel. Thank you again, DishNet, for the rate, bringing over everyone from your A++ stream. And we've got a bunch of things to go through today. We will bring in the one, the only Mr. Kidneys very, very soon. And of course, if you're new to this stream, the Hawk Report, a little bit different from my regular streams. We go through a bunch of different things, including the cards that were released today, but we also look back on the previous cards, some of the previous sets. We do a little bit of a competition. Yeah, the generational showdown and the infamous Kidneys rant will be coming up a little later too. Before we begin, a little bit of tidying up from my last stream that I wanted to go through. Over the last few months, I've been conducting some historical games, historical replay, and kind of letting the Wheel of Destiny decide who is going to play in this 32-team tournament. And on Tuesday, we finished off that series, and we had a competition. You had to guess who was going to win of the final 4 teams. We had the 85 Padres, we had the 85 Mets, the 92 Blue Jays, and the 96 Royals battling out, starting with 32, getting down to 1. And the 85 Padres, with Steve Garvey and 41-year-old Craig Nettles, won the whole tournament. And 61 entries, 7 people chose the Padres to win it all. Most of the people were choosing the Jays or choosing the Mets, but it was the underdog Padres winning a championship. And the 7 people that chose, we went to the tiebreakers. The first tiebreaker was who was going to finish second. That was the 92 Jays. So that narrowed down to 5 remaining. The second tiebreaker was how many runs were going to be scored in the final game. And there were 5 runs scored. Couple people picked 7, actually 4 people picked 7. And then we went to the final tiebreaker. How many total hits would there be in the game? Blue Jays had 6, Padres had 6, 2 defensive era teams. 12 was the tiebreaker answer. And that narrowed down the field to 2. Koala Fox picked 12. Seymour Butts, nice Simpson reference there, picked 12. So then we finally had to spin the wheel. How fitting. We had to spin a wheel to determine who the winner was going to be. So I asked the one, the only EVC and NYC to come on, and we recorded a little video where I spun the wheel with Koala Fox and with Seymour Butts to determine who the champion would be. And here is that wheel spin there. And the 10 packs from Tuesday's stream went to Seymour Butts. And I believe Seymour Butts, if you're in the stream today, those should already be in your account. So congratulations. Thanks for those that have entered in. And on Tuesday, starting a new series, Babe in the Matrix, for some giveaways with that series too. So tune in Monday, Tuesday, 1:15 Eastern Standard Time. If you're new to OOTP and you've been playing Marvel Snap for the last 23 hours and your eyes are groggy and you've come across this stream, well, this is the best simulation game on the market right now. And it is OOTP Baseball. The ads, I don't know when they're going to kick in. It gives me the message, ads starting soon, ads starting soon. Hey, Lap, ads starting soon. And then 5 minutes later, they still haven't started. So they'll kick in when they kick in. We will keep on going through the stream here. So OOTP Baseball, if you haven't played the game, go to their website, ootpdevelopments.com. You can get all the information you need right there. EVC and NYC son. Yes, Kidneys. Is that your second son? Is Kidneys your second son? They look kind of similar there. You can get OOTP from the website there for Steam, for the Mac, for the PC. Simply go to the website and make your purchase there. And you can also go to the forums on OOTP and have every single one of your questions answered, and check out the hockey information. Yeah, Franchise Hockey Manager. You can check those forums. They are on version 9, Franchise Hockey Manager. Can't wait, just can't wait until Franchise Manager 19 comes out and we get Perfect Team for the NHL. Ooh, I'd be all over that. Of course, as Dish mentioned in his stream, if you missed it, you can catch the replay tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you missed the drops from Dish, you can get those drops with him tonight at 9 p.m. So yes, tune in. Same dish, same shirt, same broadcast, but it's coming across as live so that you can get the drop. So PT Live starting up with the beta version tomorrow. Dish went through all that this morning and all the different possibilities for points that you can accumulate, deadlines that you have to meet. And I'm not Pacific Coast, I'm Mountain, so I've got an extra hour, I guess, of sleep before I have to set my lineup. But tomorrow the beta comes out. You have to update your version of OOTP. If you're on Steam, it should do it automatically if you have it set that way. If you're on a Mac or on the PC with the fast spring copy, you're going to have to manually go and update it. And who knows, as Dish mentioned, there are other bug fixes and things that are going to be in that too. So check that out tomorrow with the new version, the new updated version of OOTP. And yes, at the end of the stream, we will draw 2 winners, 10 packs for one person, 5 packs for another, as you rip to try and get the cards to build your lineup gold version. All right, we have come to that time. We have come to the moment where we will bring in a very short time.
The force is very strong. I feel a very strong force in this room. The one, the only, the analytical mind, the mathematical mind. It is intense. Who could that be? It is the one,
the only, Your Kidneys, back on stream. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. That was probably the best introduction anyone will ever give me in my entire life. That was incredible.
Oh, yes. Well, hey, I couldn't do the Chewbacca roar, but we could try and do some sort of Darth Vader impression to bring you on stream, because as you all know, the joke that goes around at this time of year, May the 4th be with you. Today is May the 4th. So how appropriate to bring back an old photo that I used on a previous stream, except I had the regular Chewbacca, and who perfect to play the role of Chewbacca in May the 4th be with you, but the one, the only, Your Kidneys. So yes, EVC steering the theme team ship, and of course, I as Luke Skywalker, the young Jedi, learning off the all-powerful Gorgo, Obi-Wan, and of course, Kidneys in the co-pilot seat steering us along. So thank you again, Kidneys, for joining in here, and look forward to your analysis today and so many other fun things. But first, some Star Wars talk, because it is May the 4th be with you day. The best Star Wars movie or series, I'm going first, because most people would pick the same thing. The best was Empire Strikes Back. Seeing that as a young kid, whoa, what a great movie. That was by far, for me, the best movie of the entire Star Wars saga. Luke, Leia, Han Solo, the C-3PO and R2-D2, and of course the infamous stuck in the sludge,
frozen in carbonite.
Yes, there we go. The carbonite. Not too many spoilers, because You know what? There are still people out there that have never seen Star Wars. So
I know,
we,
but is it fair to spoil a 50-year-old movie at this point? Like,
yeah, I think you may be onto something. Mind you, we're not quite at 50. You're making me feel real old, kidneys, because I saw these movies in the movie theater with the popcorn, and yeah, we're closing in on the 50 mark. That's for sure. So for you, best Star Wars movie?
you went with the safest pick. It's the critically acclaimed one. It's the one everybody loves. I'm gonna have a real hot take here, and chat is gonna be very upset with me when I say that my favorite Star Wars movie is Solo. I love Solo.
Whoa!
And I think a lot of people are gonna call me a heathen for this. So I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, like big time. I've followed everything, watched every episode of the Clone Wars as it came out. This movie's really good. There are good parts and there are bad parts. I think a lot of the introductions, I won't spoil the ending because it's a more recent movie and I know Dish hasn't seen it yet as we're walking him through those movies now. But the ending is fantastic. It really ties in something that was one of my favorite comic book lines as a kid. And overall, I thought a lot of the casting was good. The acting was good. It's just a fun, action-packed movie. And to me, I really like the real big spin-off movies they've done so far, like Solo and Rogue One. I like kind of the more guerrilla warfare Star Wars that isn't really this, huge galactic scale problem. It's more of a localized issue or, a little tiny story. It's not the fate of the galaxy. I don't know. Something about this movie really clicked with me. I think the setup's incredible. I do really hope we get another one. I know there's a lot of talks for Donald Glover, Childish Gambino to play Lando in a TV show. That's been rumored for a long time. So I hope that happens. I really enjoyed this movie. So.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments. Obviously, a lot of Star Wars fans out there. Who doesn't? I mean, who doesn't at least love the first three that were released? They were groundbreaking in terms of cinema. George Lucas and the cinematography and the story, and just a great saga that we've been following. And yeah, every saga is going to have their ups and downs and their good plots and their bad plots. But I have to ask you, Kidneys, as one of the biggest Star Wars nerds out there, and that's an endearing term that I use for Star Wars people. How would you, if you got to experience it from the beginning, for those people that have never watched it before, how would you recommend that they make their way through the Star Wars saga, from release date or from the timeline?
There's a lot of hot takes on this. I think you have to go release date because I think they were intended to be watched that way. I do think there's kind of this gray line. Like once you go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, you can kind of hop all over the place. Like you could do Rogue One, you could do Solo, you could do, The Mandalorian, Rebels, Clone Wars, all that stuff. I'd actually probably prefer if you did 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, the Clone Wars, not like the movie, but like probably pick out the important parts of the TV show. I actually have a list of that if anybody wants it. And then 3, and I think it makes 3 a far better movie if you do that. Then you could do, Mandalorian, Rebels, Rogue One, all the other stuff. The sequels, I like them better than other people do. I actually like both 7 and 8 quite a bit. 9 is its own thing I would rather not talk about. But, I think 7 and 8 both have a lot of good redeemable qualities, and the 9 is just, I don't know what they were doing.
And how about the Jar Jar? How about the controversial Jar Jar? Because Dish is saying, hey, I honestly didn't mind Jar Jar. And DA said he really liked that performance in particular.
So I'm a big Darth Jar Jar fan. If you're a more casual Star Wars guy, you may not know about this. A lot of people speculate that Jar Jar was originally supposed to be a Sith Lord as like a parallel to Yoda. And because of the backlash from Episode 1, they changed it. So I'm a big believer in that theory. I do think it was fine. Like, I grew up watching Episode 1 as a kid. Like, most people here probably didn't have that experience, but for me, I thought he was funny. And my mom didn't want me watching Episode 2 because it was too violent, which is probably the right call. So I just watched Episode 1 probably about 50 times as a kid. And it was like my favorite movie, and I have no issues with Jar Jar. There's a few real dumb things he says, but I think overall the character is whatever. I personally, I don't mind it. I think if you don't like it, it's probably just more it wasn't for you. If it takes your enjoyment out of the movie, I'm sorry, but I enjoyed it as a kid, right?
And I know for me, my favorite scene of all time, the one that, I mean, there's so many you can choose from. To have a favorite is just like almost a no-no. But the Cantina scene, Cantina, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Cantina scene for me always is going to stand out as the best Star Wars scene. I don't know if you have one, if it's the same one, but is there something that just is Star Wars for you? Without giving spoilers away.
Oh gosh, I think it would spoil the movie if I did it. There's actually a scene in episode 8 I think is my favorite scene. And just by saying episode 8 and favorite scene, there'll be a lot of people very upset. But there's a scene in there I really like. There's so many good scenes in Star Wars. I mean, the Cantina is like this huge reveal of the spectrum of the universe and all the different aliens. And like, I watched an interview recently with Mark Hamill saying like, we were doing it in real time and I thought it was the dumbest looking thing, right? Like we have a cricket over here and like the costumes aren't that great. And then like watching it back, I mean, it looks incredible, you know? So
yeah.
Magic of movies, right? So.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, it was just something different, like you said, opened up that whole new universe. And a big shout out before we continue, Kidneys. Big shout out to both EVC and Gristle Whistle for the subs. EVC with a generous gifting of 5 subs out to the community. EVC again, the conductor, the Han Solo in our thumbnail today, who just is an amazing affiliate who brings us such great content with the theme teams, organizes it all. He always says it's like herding cats. And believe me, yes, there are some wild cats in the theme team universe. And yeah, thank you so much, EVC, for the gifted sub. I won't serenade you today because that's kind of my Monday, Tuesday shows. And Gristle Whistle, same thing. Thank you for your continued support to the channel. And for all the new followers today, you guys, the best. Rich said it on his stream the other night. I've said it, that this is the best, especially baseball gaming community out there. So thank you so much for all the follows and all the support you give, not only myself, but all the affiliates as I watch their streams and see you guys supporting them. So thank you. Cheers to you guys out there. All right, let's move on to the next segment of our show. And that is always, we have kind of a little icebreaker. And if you've watched this show in the past, usually I'm the one questioning Kidneys and testing him on some Gen X things, because if you're new to the channel, Kidneys and I, if you haven't noticed, Kidneys is younger than I am. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed that, but he is slightly younger than I am, and he's come from a different generation, and that is the Zoomer generation. I am from Gen X, the late 60s and summer of 69, Bryan Adams, and up into the 1980s with the Doors and Kiss and all these great legendary bands of the 70s. And we see the world, our worldview is different in some ways, and what we know about pop culture is different in some ways too. And I grew up in the 80s with the neon, with the mullets, kind of almost sporting one now. And Kidneys grew up with a device in his hand, and the different look from the 80s, that's for sure. Even though generations come back, right, Kidneys? We have retro. People dress like the 70s again, or dress with the bell bottoms and all those kind of things. So today, little bit of a twist. Today, before we get into the content, Kidneys is going to give me some Zoomer questions. He's going to test me. He's going to embarrass me and see what I do and do not know. So Kidneys, I am going to leave it over back to you to share your screen, and let's see how I fare out today. Not even a multiple. Okay, Star Wars meme. All right.
So we have, this is going to be the warm-up, and then we're going to do Zoomer memes. So I have 5 of each, and you get a point for each Star Wars meme. I have a question related to the meme. And if you get it right, you get a point. However, the Zoomer memes have a bit more of a complicated system and are probably a lot harder for you to get. So we're gonna start you off easy, and then we're gonna move into it. All right, let me know when you're ready. We'll do the first one.
Just wait. All right, let's do this.
All right, here we go. Well, that's a little more blurry than I thought it would be. So this is a famous quote by Mr. Newt Gunray. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. Very memeable quote. My question is, what was this in reference to in the movie in which it was said? So what is Newt Gunray saying was getting out of hand? Now there's two of them.
Is this like something that most Zoomers would know?
Yes. So, well, Star Wars memes were actually probably like somewhere 2017, a little early, like 2015 to like 2019, the biggest memes in the world. Especially memes about the Star Wars prequels specifically. There's a huge community dedicated to memeing literally every single line in the Star Wars prequels. This is one of the more popular ones. A lot of Zoomers might not even know the context, but they would know this meme. But I'm trying to make it a little easier for you here.
Okay. I'm going out on a whim. I have no clue if this is a good guy or bad guy, but based that he's in black and red, I'm going to assume he's bad. So I'm going to say that there is a second Yoda somehow introduced. Two Yodas.
No! So, Newt Gunray is one of the main villains in Episode 1. He's the leader of the Trade Federation and the droid army. He shows up quite a few times over the movies. Actually, I think Anakin ends up disposing him a little bit later on. But Newt Gunray is referring to when Sidious is talking to him and he says, "This is my apprentice, Darth Maul," right? And he sends Maul. Gunray goes to his assistant and says, "This is getting out of hand." Now there's two of them, right? There's two Sith. So... I
am not versed on the more recent Star Wars. I've seen like the first 6 or 7. So anything newer, you're gonna get me.
Darth Maul.
This is one? Oh,
yes,
okay, Darth Maul.
One. This is in reference to Sidious showing Darth Maul for the first time. And Gunray says, there's two Sith Lords now. It's a big deal, right? So,
that makes sense. Okay.
All right. Next question.
What am I? 2 for 3, right?
In the blank. This is the most memeable line from all of Star Wars. And if you don't get it, I'm going to be a little sad. Fill in the blank. What is the quote attributed to this movie frame?
Need coffee.
No. Well, I'll let you go again because I actually it's like a game show. That's the correct number of letters for the two words of the quote.
Can I buy a vowel, Vanna?
No, you can't buy a vowel. It's 2 words. They're each 5 letters, okay? Don't look at your chat. That's cheating.
Hello there. Hello there. Hello there.
It is hello there. And this is the most famous scene in all the prequels when Grievous is talking and Obi-Wan jumps down from the rafters and they all turn around with their weapons drawn and he goes, "Hello there." This is an excellent quote. I will give you a point for that. But I thought
maybe he just walked into the cantina or something like that. And was like,
this is from episode
hello
3.
there.
All right, next one. All right, so this is kind of a trick question. This is a common Star Wars misconception. "It's a trap" is a very iconic Star Wars line, right? From episode 6, the final, the starship fight. But it was not the first time somebody said it's a trap in Star Wars. It was in a previous movie. I would like the specific scene. We're talking in order of release date. So it would have to be in episode 5 or 4. Who is the person who said it's a trap and where did they say it? Who is the other person?
Can I use one of my lifelines and call a friend?
You could do that, yeah. We can call a friend, absolutely.
I would like to call upon Aussie7227, one of my 3 lifelines. Aussie7227.
Yeah.
What are you thinking here? We're on okay. I think it just came to me, Kidneys. I think I'm going to guess Princess Leia and A New Hope
Is that your final answer?
in Cloud City, Episode 5. Yes.
All right. Half got it right. So Ozzy half got it right. Mitch did get it right in the chat. It was Princess Leia in Episode 5, as I think it's Luke is running to say them. She's like, "No, Luke, it's a trap. Like, you know, like the stormtroopers, the Empire's here, right? We're all gonna die." But yeah,
I was going to guess when they're stuck in the trash compactor if I had to guess on my own, but
Yeah.
that would have been a good It's
A
a
lot of
Trap.
people don't know that It's a Trap is actually a callback to Episode 5. All right,
Really?
Next Star Wars one. Another fill in the blank. This one very famously was the most upvoted Reddit post of all time, was related to this meme for a very long time. It is once again spelled out, and it is a very iconic quote from Episode 3. I could set the scene for you if you need a little help.
Okay, just if I get the first 3 words right, will you give me the first 2 letters of the last word?
I can do that. It's a pretty easy first 3 words.
I am the...
And then the next 2 would be S-E.
I am the S-E...
4 more letters.
I am the Senate.
Yeah, there we go. I am the Senate. One of the most iconic lines from Ian McDermott. As the Jedi are here to arrest Palpatine, and Mace Windu goes, "The Senate will decide your fate," and he goes, "I am the Senate." And then
As opposed to I am the Walrus.
Yes, not I am the Walrus. Someone says I am the House of Representatives. It's close. All right, final Star Wars question, then we move on to the Zoomer ones, which are going to be very fun. All right, here we go. I am looking for the name of this character. It is not his real name. There is a specific name attributed to this meme photo. So this one here in the top, the mid-right or top right, is the actual photo from the movie. The rest of them are enhanced versions. His real name, I'll give you a hint. I have the first part of his real name.
Oh, okay. Let me just say this guy's pretty ripped. This guy's pretty ripped.
You could say that. You could say specifically he's what?
So he has a lot in common with you, right, Kidneys? I mean, first part of the name, really ripped. Yeah, okay. Ben?
Uh-huh.
What am I looking for? A last name or just like a nickname?
It's what you're saying. He's ripped, but it's a pun, actually, on what might be his real last name.
Ben Muscles.
No, we're close. The answer is Ben Swolo.
Oh.
Ben Swolo. Yes, Ben Swolo.
Okay. I'm not touching that one. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
All right, so I have you at 2 or 3 points for that one. I think I'll give you 2.
I'll take it, yep.
All right, so here's the next round, is the high-stakes Zoomer meme review. You can get up to 3 points per meme, all right? I need you to either describe what is in the meme. So I don't even need to know what the meme is. You just have to tell me, like, this is a picture of this thing, right? You get another point if you tell me the meaning of it. What does the meme mean? And you get a third point. You can get, they don't have to be in order. You can, if you use the meme in the proper context, okay? So like when you would use this meme or say the meme or something like that, okay? You ready?
You and your memes, you Zoomers and your memes. Like, can't you just tell like knock jokes like we did back in the day? Like, knock, who's there? Boo. Boo-hoo. Oh, how come you're crying? Like, come on, make it simple, man. All right, let's go.
All right. This is our first meme. I have the names of the meme on the right. This is the troll face. So I'm looking for what is in the meme, like kind of where'd it come from. I'm looking for what is the meaning of the meme, and then how would you use the meme? Yes.
Wait, Google's a little slow here. Okay.
I think, somebody posted in Twitch chat if you have 7TV or whatever. It's a global emote.
Mimi. Is this Mimi?
Not a Mimi, no.
Not a Mimi?
This is one of the oldest memes around.
I've seen it. I've seen people use it. Is it kind of like it says troll face? Is it kind of just like, boy, that guy got you really good kind of thing?
Sort of. You're almost there. So I'll give it to you for that one. So it's kind of like it's almost like Kappa in a sense, right? So like you say something like really dumb or really ironic, and somebody gets mad by it, and you hit them with the troll face, right? Like I got you, I trolled you, you know. So a little bit of that. So I can give you that one. I think the context behind this one is a little hard, so that's probably like how you would use in the meeting. I'll give you 1 point for that. These are only going to get harder, by the way.
Oh, great.
To hardest. I did that with the last ones too.
Is that kind of like if someone says something and someone comes back with a quick witty reply and you go, burned, he burned you, would you use that in that case?
It's more of like you got somebody upset and then you just hit them with the troll face. You know?
Okay.
This is the slang term, right? So next one, Arthur's Fist.
Arthur's Fist. Well, this is like an animal, right? This is cartoon character.
Arthur the Aardvark. I forget the actual name of the show, but he was on, I think, PBS. I watched him growing up as a kid. I may have seen the episode this is from. It is not NSFW. Maybe somebody has made it that, but
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to assume it's like he's got that fist. Like he's really upset. Like if you ever watch The Honeymooners, Jackie Gleason, and Jackie Gleason kind of goes, "Oh, I oughta," like that little bit of a threat because he's really upset and he's containing himself. Like that perfect card that you turn over and it's a Shane Baz and you're like, "Oh, I oughta." That's my bet. Yes.
You nailed it. So you got the show it's from, kind of. I'll give you a point for that. I'll give you a point for the meaning. How would you use this meme, though? And
how would you use it?
Context. Like if you're typing it and you have as an emote on Discord, when would you put it? Right.
Maybe if someone upsets you and or maybe posts a spoiler of a Star Wars movie and you don't want to, type it out like, hey, don't be a jerk and put spoilers, you might just post this meme like, I know what you did there. I'm upset.
Yeah, you could totally use it that way. I think a lot of people would use it a little more ironically, right? Like you're not actually mad at something, but you're pretending to be really mad at it, But I'll give you the point for that. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. Very, very popular emote in the Twitch sphere right now for the past 2 years is Giga Chad.
Okay. Let me try and break this down because I've never seen this one before. Never. It looks like some sort of AI creation.
No, this is a real photo. This is a real photo of a real person. Yes.
I would say someone would use this if they want to brag about, the equipment that they have in terms of, hey, I've just got a brand new 4 gigabyte computer. You take your 512 megabyte. Look at me. I'm showing off. I'm Giga Chad.
You kind of got it. Not specifically gigabyte. But your context, I think, will be close enough for it to work. So I'm going to give you a point for that. I'll explain a little more, then I'd ask you how you'd use it. So Giga Chad kind of has 2 meanings at this point. So it's like if someone does something really awesome or incredible or, like something like extraordinary, they're a Giga Chad, right? Or sometimes people use it in almost the opposite way, where if somebody does something like extraordinarily dumb, but it works out, they're also a Giga Chad.
I'm just waiting for the Arthur meme right now. Oh.
So
Sure.
Either of those ways. So how would you use Giga Chad in like a statement? I mean, I guess you kind of already did that. I'll give you 2 for it.
Okay, I will take every point I can get. Yes, it kind of looks like that. Looks like that troll guy you had at the beginning, but in human form.
I mean, this guy is extraordinarily ripped. He's a real bodybuilder. He's embraced the meme too. It's very fun. This one has been very popular since November of last year. It is one of the most popular memes in the world. This is "Let Him Cook," and the picture associated with the meme isn't super relevant. But the phrase "let him cook" is used quite frequently these days by Zoomers.
Okay. Toy Story, like maybe Toy Story 4.
It is from Kingdom Hearts, the video game. So this is the main character in Kingdom Hearts, and this is all the Disney characters are in Kingdom Hearts. So that is Woody from Toy Story.
Okay, so this is how
not super relevant to the meme. It does like very slightly, but you would like have to know the game to understand why.
Okay, this is how I would use this meme. If someone is going on a rant, let's just say randomly on a stream, and they're really like fired up and they're going and they're saying all this stuff, and you want to interrupt them, and you're like, no, he's on a roll, let him cook. That's how I would.
You nailed it. That's all 3 points for sure there. That is absolutely how you use "let him cook." There's also people have come up with a version where they photoshopped Woody to be face palming, and it's "who let him cook." You let the guy cook. It doesn't work. You burn the food, right? So, but you crushed this one. So we have one more left for you. This is by far my favorite meme of all time because of the absurdity of it. Chat should hopefully, if anybody is young, you'll know exactly what this is. You won't. We have, behold, the best meme ever made. This is the greatest artwork of my generation. Yeah,
I feel for that generation.
I see some hype in the chat. This is a masterpiece of art. I think the easiest thing for you to do would be to name the different parts of this meme, right? No clue what it is? No, but you should know some of these things in the photo.
Okay.
So if you can identify the whole scene in the background, and then the person's head is not their head, but it's somebody else's face also on that head. So I'm looking for, I'll give you a point for each. What is happening in the photo, whose face it is, and whose head it is. You should know probably 2 of those 3 things. Actually,
movie or TV show?
The head is from a movie. The picture is real life. And the person's face is an internet celebrity. They're a YouTuber, one of the most famous YouTubers.
Gorgo 2005 as a young guy?
I wish that were true. It is not Gorgo. I realize you're also not an American, so you may not know the background behind the photo as well, which is kind of...
okay. So I'm going to guess it's some sort of spectacle that's going on.
It is U.S. government related.
That's what I'm thinking. Like government related.
So someone, I'll give you more context. Someone is being interviewed by the Senate over something. I need the person being interviewed.
Give me a time period.
I can find it. Hold on, if you give me 2 seconds. It would be like in the past 10 years.
And we're talking high-profile politician being interviewed?
Not a politician, very high-profile person. You will know who this person is.
Male or female?
It is a man. This is from... Let me find it. Well, this was made in 2018, but I want the actual date of the Senate hearing. Do you have any idea?
Okay, I'm thinking that...
Oh, it was also in 2018, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, this happened in like March 2018. right?
And one last clue. Is it the person, the high profile person, is it sports, entertainment, tech?
Social media. I'll give
Okay,
you a
social
real
media. Okay, I got it.
social
If it's that old, it's not going to be Elon Musk, because that's more recent. It's probably the only other guy that is pretty famous for social media. The Mark Zuckerberg.
It is Mark Zuckerberg at a Senate hearing. Do you have any idea? I'll skip the face. Do you have any idea whose head that is? Specifically, the hair and the chin would give it away. You've certainly seen the movie it's from.
Keanu Reeves?
No, they're a very short person. Very short.
Very short, as in like the short person from Game of Thrones?
They would be about that height. It's an animated movie.
Oh, Shrek,
Yeah,
the king from Shrek.
It's kind of in the title.
The king from Shrek.
It's Lord Farquaad's head. And of course, for my generation, the face is the YouTuber Markiplier. One of the most famous YouTubers ever. There's no purpose for this meme at all. You wouldn't use it in a context. This is kind of what we would call an anti-meme. It's funny because it's funny.
Zoomers.
I'll give you 2 more points for that one. So
okay.
Our total today is +2 plus 0.5. Oh wait, no, it was 13.
That's a lot of digits to add up there.
15.5 points today. I don't know out of how many points. Congratulations. How do you feel you did on the meme quiz?
Well, I felt I put it all out on the field there, and I gave it my all. And, I'm just so happy that the team was able to perform today on the episode, and that we were able to, pull it off. And, I'll take the victory, but it's a team effort there, Kidney. So thank you so much for putting this together. And 15.5, much, much better than I anticipated.
It was not bad. I'm actually quite impressed. You struggled more on the Star Wars ones than the real ones, I think.
Yeah.
Let Them Cook was by far your best performance. That was excellent, how you instantly delivered on that. So.
All right. Well, I think we're here for something else, aren't we? I
think it's just meme review, and I'm done. Like, I'm legally allowed to leave at this point.
Yeah, he's just here for the memes, guys. And I guess now if I just want to randomly throw something in, I throw that Lord Farquaad meme in, and just let him cook. All right. We've got Beginner's Guide. We always like to give a little bit of tips and advice to some of those beginners out there. And this week we're going to go through, or Kidneys is going to kind of explain a little bit about the chicken and egg situation. What came first, the chicken or the egg? But in OOTP land, what should you be doing? Should you be building a ballpark around the cards you already have? Or should you pick a ballpark and find cards that suit that ballpark? Give the beginners, Kidneys, some ideas about ballpark use.
In general, what I've always done with ballparks and talking about ballparks and that sort of thing is I have normally you kind of either do 2 things. You find 1 or 2 cards that are of a similar goal that you feel is undervalued in the current meta, right? So you think these cards aren't being played not because they're bad, but because other people aren't playing them correctly or don't know about them, that kind of a thing. And then you either find a ballpark that benefits those cards and you kind of build a team around it, or you can just pick a ballpark and build your team around it. I would say always, like, if you pick the ballpark last, it's probably incorrect. They're very powerful. They're extremely beneficial to how you can make a team. And learning how to capitalize on that is big. So Out of the Park has a home field advantage built into it, like real baseball has. It's about 10%, right? So you're 55-45 at home. And you really want to capitalize on that even more by making sure your lineup specifically is built well to play in your park while you play half your games, right? So that's, I think, one of the biggest margins you can get playing in league play, right?
Okay. And do Do you often switch your ballparks often throughout the cycle, or do you try and stay to one ballpark and then constantly find cards to fit that ballpark? Or does it really depend on the new cards that are released? How often should you be switching up ballparks?
That's a great question. It really depends on what's out there right now and what your goal is, right? Like, it's a little different if you have all the cards, but if you're somebody who's just trying to do one or two things, like a lot of the time, if you don't have all the cards, it's better to reduce offense, right? And then you maximize eye on your hitters and like base stealing and play small ball and defense, right? And so it's really about where you're at that given time and what cards you have or you think are going to be better that you want to kind of capitalize on. So I don't think there's like a generic thing. I think something a lot of people don't realize is like, if you're not actively making your team better, your team is getting worse because everybody else is making their team better. I see a lot of people like, well, I won my league last week and I got killed this week. What happened? And it's like, you didn't do anything, right? That's actually a problem a lot of the time, and there is variance. But as long as you're actively making sure that you have the best builds you can put forward, right, you're good. So.
Okay, yeah, and that's kind of what I do. I look at what cards I have. I look at all the ballpark options, which this year it's completely different from the past, where it's generally all lefty cheese, righty cheese, or staying neutral. And I'm having fun with the ballparks and trying to find players that suit that kind of environment. All right, let's move on to kind of reflecting back on some of the cards of the past, some cards that have impressed us over the last little bit. And mine's an easy one. Again, I'm going with one that no one's going to be surprised about, and that's is it Martin Dihigo? How do you pronounce that, Kidneys?
I've always said Dihigo. I don't
Dihigo?
know if that's correct.
Okay. But anyway, this is a card that obviously I don't own. It's hard to get, but I always pick it in tournaments. And last week in the Wednesday I Need a Nap tournament, or whatever the great name they have for that, 256 people. And this was my first choice in that pack. And this was on my theme team. And I showed this on my stream earlier in the week. And my Dave Steeb Super 7 All-Stars, say that 7 times fast, managed to make their way all the way through and win the finals of the 256 team tournament with this guy as the key component. He went 5-0. He was my number one starter. He was my ace. 5-0 in the tournament. He hit almost 300 as a hitter in the tournament and just led the way. He was an all-star. So in tournaments especially, I always like to take him. The versatility, he can play pretty much anywhere. And if you're going far in a tournament, this is a guy that probably going to come in very useful. So for me, that's kind of my look back. And if you're in a perfect draft and he comes up as one of your options, seriously consider him. How about you?
Yeah, he's excellent. I have him as like, if you were playing gold tournaments, he's like an average pitcher that's being played. So he's very good that way. And he's like, a low diamond level hitter. So combine those two things and you have an extraordinarily strong card there. Yeah, for sure. So
Indy asked that he just pulled him last night. Congratulations. Just pulled Dihigo and having difficulty implementing him. So if you're in league play, what's the best use of him? Is it as, I guess you have to compare it with other cards you have, but generally, where do you play this guy?
In league play, I'd probably put him in a corner outfield. Probably is more of a left fielder in league play. Defense a lot more important than tournaments right now. You could play him at third base, first base. I just think there's other options that are cheap that would be close to, if not better. So I'd probably play him left field. I don't know if I would pitch him in league. You could. If it's a low level, you could. I mean, where this card is extraordinary is cap tournaments, right? Where you can play him as a pitcher and a hitter and do a bunch of things with him, right? So,
all right. So Kidneys, we're gonna call cut, And we're going to say you're going to do a take two in just a few seconds because I guess ads kicked in and the person that asked the question are like, ads kicked in. I want to find out the answer. So we'll be back, guys, in looks like about 2 minutes time here. So go refresh your coffee, get your beverage, go to the washroom, go hug your cat, your dog, your kids, whatever you want to do in the next 2 minutes. We'll be back very shortly. All right, we are back. Yeah, sorry about those ad breaks again. Twitch just kicks those in. And again, I do my ads about once every hour. It is a little bit more extended. That way it takes off the pre-roll so people that are joining don't get the ads immediately. And I don't like ads every 15 minutes or every 30 minutes. So leave them for kind of a big section in the middle. And I'm old. I need to go to the washroom every little once in a while. So it allows me to jump out of my chair and do that. So always we try and be conscious of the ads kicking in, and we stop the show until those ads are over. And Kidneys, once again, where and how would you use this card in your perfect league play?
Probably left field. I think he's a pretty solid left fielder. I'm not really sure. Unless he starts at left field, he's never really going to come out of the bullpen and pitch, and I don't think he's quite starting pitch caliber. This card is like, where he shines is cap tournaments, right? Because he saves you so many points, getting a really good fielder and pitcher at the same time. In league play, it's a little bit of a stretch to do it both ways. And for skip DH when pitching, I mean, it's nice if either he's comparable to like your designated hitter, or you're trying to give your designated hitter a break every 4 or 5 games, right? That's kind of what you're looking for there, I think. So, but certainly one of the most powerful cards you can have in tight caps right now.
Okay. So there you go. Hope that helps you there, Indy, with your use of him. Great poll, great card to have. And remember, there will be a second set of the Negro League cards coming out, probably within a month, 2 months, and then the ultimate topper, the ultimate missions that go with those. So, all right, Kidneys, your reflection back, the card that you want to kind of look back on and promote a little bit.
I went with Tristan Casas from last week. He's pretty crazy VR. It's a little interesting with this one because right now in like modern gold, the meta is pretty much all left-handed starting pitching, and that hurts this card a bit. I think the Lance Berkman card that came out today is pretty comparable as a VR bat, which is kind of cool. So he has a little bit of competition up in, I don't know, up somewhere very high as the best VR bat in gold now. If you think you're going to face right-handed gold pitching, you probably just play both of them in some way, shape, or form. But this bat is so silly versus right-handed pitching. I pulled one on stream last week. I've used it. It's been a lot of fun so far. So.
And there obviously is a lot of demand for it, right, Kidneys? Because when we look at the card shop, the prices that this gold card is going for is just outstanding for those that are selling it, I guess. But is it because it is so useful in gold tournaments or general league play? Why is there so much demand? It's a great card, no doubt, but why is the price so high?
Well, you touched on what's going to be my rant topic later.
Okay.
I do think the price of the card is probably not for league, but tournaments, it's a huge deal, right? Like, you spend money to make money. This card probably helps you make money. I also think it's probably a pretty decent factor that a lot of people are trying to get this card for PTCS. Either literally playing it in the open, which because it's out of the park era, and this is probably one of the best hitters in that, or in the golds, things like that, right? I think it's a very, very, very strong 87. So.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, let's get on to what we just are supposed to be here for, and that is the analysis of the new cards that have come out. So we'll take a look at the card report, the newest cards that have been released, and we're going to start again with this card right here, or this player right here. If you're not aware, yesterday OOTP released a limited edition Ernie Lombardi. So if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan, if you grew up, back, in the 50s and 60s and 70s, you're probably a little bit more familiar with this player. Hall of Famer Ernie Lombardi in the game now, a 98 diamond card. And just look at that picture, Kidneys. Like, doesn't this scream old-time baseball? Like, look at the size of his hand there. That ball looks so miniature with Lombardi, and just the equipment. And baseball players look a lot different today, don't they?
Yeah, no, it's so cool to look back on a lot of these things and see the evolution of the game, and just, how far we've come and how different it is, right? It's so kind of vastly different than, it used to be back then when guys like Ernie played. This card's pretty solid, VR specifically. VL, it slightly has the issue of it's not Chris Hoyles. Chris Hoyles is real good, turns out. Sort of my issue a little bit with this card is just overall, it's going to struggle a bit compared to, again, after mentioned Chris Hoyles. I do have it like in Diamond being the best catcher VR, and it's by a decent amount. I feel like this card gets better in older eras where catcher ability doesn't matter as much. It has a very low amount of that. It's got real funny splits. I think the 40 IVL hurts it probably a little bit too much for it to be super strong as a verse left catcher. But it's definitely not a bad card. I think there's definitely formats you'd play it in. I do want to note, though, so as you go back older, catcher ability normally matters less. For whatever reason, the 1919, so the dead ball tournaments that are played in 1919, it matters a lot. I don't really know why, but it has a huge impact right now in those. So.
Oh, I think that's a great point you bring up. So just to clarify, when you're using catchers in tournaments from different eras, the further you go back, the less important the catcher, the ability, the defense is, unless you're back in the dead ball era. Is that right?
That's what it seems to be. That's for a few things. Like, stuff is pretty linear, especially to dead ball era. It just goes down, right? Like, so and by that margin, then, right, Avoid K is also a lot less important, and Avoid K is normally very expensive when it comes to card overall, right? I don't think it's related to the walks in 1919. It's almost like framing is just turned on in dead ball, and it's basically not like, I think there's a 22 tournament, and it just basically doesn't matter in that one at all. So it is kind of, I'm not really sure if that's intentional or not, or whatever the reason for that is, but yeah, I mean, so definitely this is something you could play in tournament. Probably not PTCS. I think the thing about PTCS, a lot of people keep asking me what to play for that. I and Control are going to play up very big in that based on some other numbers I've seen. So yes. Make sure not to, again, when I say like prioritize something, it's not like only play a card that has 100 I and nothing else, but it's like put a little more weight on it, right, than you normally would. So.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this, Kidneys, because every time there's a new patch that comes out for a game, there's the possibility of things coming in that could affect the meta, could affect the play of the game. Now, with the patch coming out tomorrow and then the tournament on Saturday, I don't know much about patches and what they all put into them. Maybe you do, but is that a possibility that I and Power could be, I guess you use the term, nerfed a little bit? Or do you think that it's going to be other things that we're going to see?
It's always a possibility, right? Like, it's always changing something up. I would say if they change something like that, like a day before a major tournament without telling people, I think there might be a little bit of a problem. So I'd hope it's not this patch. Maybe eventually BABIP, whatever's going on with BABIP will change. It's really not that I and Power are too strong. It's that BABIP just isn't happening, right? Like, BABIP across tournaments of all eras is 20, 30 more points than that, lower than it was in real life, right? So it's very different for a variety of reasons, right? So.
And Warbot has kind of chimed in a little bit with his opinions, and highly respect what Warbot always has to say, especially about tournament play and the early eras. So some more information for you new beginners out there, you tournament players, about things you should consider when you're doing your drafts. And I agree. I would hope a day before a tournament that a patch doesn't drastically change the way that your players play. If they want to do that, do it after the tournament in another patch, but we will see. I'm sure you will be one of the first to find out if there's any impact. Okay, so moving on to the gold cards from today. For all again, that are new to Perfect Team, this is your first year that you're playing it. Over the past few seasons, past few versions of the game, OOTP has had a Build a Lineup or Build a Legend series, where they take one player from every position, 2 pitchers, 2 relievers, 1 lefty, 1 righty, and they build a 12-card set, starting with their lowest iron cards and working their way up to a perfect card. So all the cards that you saw Dish present today will eventually have a 100 perfect card. And over the course of a few months, they introduced the next level. Today was the gold level for each of the positions. And this time, Dish started with the pitchers. So we're going to start with the pitchers. Now, Kenley Jansen has been a really awesome silver card. You've highly promoted it. You always encourage people, get your silver Jansen. The gold one, I'm sure the biggest question people have is it better? And if not, why not?
It is actually better. I wasn't really sure on first glance. I knew it was very good. I don't think a lot of people realize how good the silver one is. It's one of the most powerful cards in the game relative to overall. I have this being technically not, but I personally would absolutely put this as the best pitcher in gold. I don't really have anybody being too close but Tom is very splitty, and this card is a lot less splitty. So I think this card is really, really good if you're building any sort of roster that needs a bullpen arm. So normally not a cap tournament unless you have a bazillion points, right? I would go out of your way to play this. I'll probably put it on my league team. I'll put it on my gold team. This card is extraordinarily powerful.
Yep, I agree. I like this. Again, look at that high pitcher BABIP, which seems to be the play right now. And people are asking, how many tournaments have you qualified for this weekend? I've qualified for the perfect daily draft, so I'm going to be in the perfect daily draft, and I might even stream it. I know Dish was talking about how overwhelmed he might feel this weekend with 10 tournaments that he's got to cover. So I'm willing to come in as a pinch hitter and do the daily draft if that's something that Dish wants me to do, because I'm in it. So I may do it, I may not. We'll see. How about you, Kidneys? How many tournaments are you in? Which tournaments did you qualify for?
I've been 4 or 5. I can't remember if I made open or not. I play open only when the other slots I like are full. I just didn't play any of the low tier ones, so I didn't play iron through gold at all almost. And so, you can certainly make all of them. I know people with just PT plus, no money spent other than that, who qualified for all 10, and it's a crazy accomplishment, but it's very realistic. It's really, I don't think it's unreasonable to qualify just, if you just put the work in, right? I think pretty much anyone can certainly do it. So
and this is what you're fighting for. This is what you're playing for. The second version of the Carl Yastrzemski card, which he's good at baseball. And I think this card
I know we should probably talk about him, because we talked about the incorrect one that was shown last week. And this card blows everything in left field out of the water. He trains in center field. I missed that. Yeah, if he trains in center field, maybe that's something you consider. It's really painful training a card. It takes like a month of real life time, and they're terrible while they're doing it, hitting and fielding. And but no, this card is so good. It's a very worthy tournament reward now. And I got nothing much to say about it. I think eventually it'll be a platoon. Hopefully, a month or 2 down the line. But even as a platoon, the card just deletes right-handed pitching, and it says 97 range, so it's extraordinary.
Yeah, and again, training at first base, at center field, definitely going to help. We know that in less than a month time, we're going to get the Lou series with June 2nd, with that being an important day. And he, of course, is a first baseman. And last year, the Lou card, he played for 3 or 4 months as kind of a meta first baseman and then starting to platoon them. And even at the end of the cycle, there were some teams, maybe in gold or diamond, still using him. So we know that we're going to get a really good first baseman coming very soon, aren't we?
I think so. I also think first baseman, just in general, this year is already very, very strong. And you're certainly going to maximize your margin because remember, obviously this is also the best first baseman, right? And the question is, though, who's the second guy, and then what's the gap in WAR between the two, right? And it's a lot bigger in left field than it is at first base. So
right, and let me just point out that no, nothing's been confirmed about a Lucette or anything like that. We're assuming because every year with the Jackie Robinson, they've always done a Jackie Robinson, and we're just hoping maybe that we are going to get another version of it for this year. So we will find out very, very, very soon if we do get that card. All right, moving on to our next gold pitcher, and this is the other reliever, Gary Lavelle. And again, what's your opinion?
So Gary is excellent versus lefties. I mean, that's pretty obvious looking at the card, right? I would have him number 2 versus lefties in the format. I will point out that Kevin Segrist is just out of this world versus lefties. It's kind of silly. I do think I probably still wouldn't play this card. The problem is, out of left-handed pitching, I have it number 70, 75-ish against righties. And the fact is, as a left-handed pitcher, you normally face quite a lot of righties. And if you want a lefty specialist, I'd probably just play somebody like Gary Peters or Kevin Segrist or somebody with quite not this drastic splits. You could probably play both ways. So probably a not for me.
Well, and because I'm always learning from Kidneys, and when he mentions a name of a card that you should have versus lefties or righties, I'm writing it down. So who did you mention was that lefty specialist that you prefer again? Kevin
Segrist, I think is how you say it. He might even be a silver card. I can't remember. He's really silly. I don't even know if I'd play him, though. It's one of those things where Segrist is better VL and VR. He's quite a bit better, but it's running a lefty specialist a lot of the times isn't worth it unless you have a super specific meta read and you're in the tournament microing it. It's a lot. Righty specialists are a bit easier. A lot of times people overplay righties. So
there you go. All right. So another card to keep an eye on. And Alex pointed out that it is a silver card too. So
yes.
Next we go to our starting rotation. Mickey Lolich. I kind of like this card. I like the pitcher BABIP home run, a little bit low. It's got really good stuff. For a gold card, I'm thinking it's pretty good. What say you?
It's okay. It's very funny. I actually quite liked this card when I was just looking at it, and then I punched into the spreadsheet. That's why I have the spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet was this is basically the average starting pitcher in gold tournaments right now. The issue is being average is normally a bad thing, actually, in Out of the Park, because you can have infinite copies of Vita Blue, right? Everybody is allowed to play Vita Blue, and the other cards that I have better. So, in terms of a starting pitcher, you probably could play this in gold. It's, kind of close. But I wouldn't go out of my way to play it. Maybe he gets a big boost in the pen, and you could do it. Oh, and low gold. Mick News raises an excellent question. I can flip the low gold really quick. I assume he's one of the best options. Yeah, I would have him low gold left-handed starter number 5. The others being Baldwin, Moore, Tanana, Haddix. So, low gold, absolutely, you play him. Open gold, I don't know. Certainly on the edge of a bullpen card. I probably wouldn't start him, though.
All right. And the other starter, this time Robin Roberts, and we see that high pitcher BABIP here, low home run compared to probably what you might be looking for. But again, there might be a certain use for this card in a certain tournament. What do you think about the new gold Roberts?
It does have a number on it that is very interesting to me because we didn't see a number all last year. It has 114 stamina. I believe the highest card last year was 112. I think we had like 112 and every other card was 110, 111. The problem is I like the silver version of this card a lot more. You're losing about 7 BABIP in control to gain. It's a lot of home run VR. It's like 20 VR, but VL it's worse. And then it's like 20 points of stuff both ways. So I think just gaining home run and losing pretty much every other category but like stamina, not a great trade. I don't really have it anywhere being that good. The problem is the silver is the same shape, but it's more extreme. So the silver, I actually have the silver as like one of the better starters in gold you could play. The silver is excellent. I would pass on this one.
Okay, good advice. And now moving on to some of our hitters. We'll go through these. You mentioned Lance Berkman a little earlier about being now kind of the new card against the right-handed pitchers. Look at that eye. Look at that power. Those just jump way out at you. So give us more of an analysis on Berkman.
He's quite silly, VR, obviously. The model would like him, first base, left field, right field. I'd probably play him left field because I'd play Costas at first. You could DH him if you really wanted to. The main problem with this card is that, it's super splitty, and splits are great in some scenarios. Specifically right now, the gold meta is I think what is it? It's like 5 of the best 7 gold starting pitchers are lefties. And for that reason, most people are running lefties in open gold. And then that makes this card just a lot worse, right? And it's not like it's a bad card. It's just a rough meta read. I do have it as like a better hitter than Casas. It's very marginal. I think probably its benefit over Casas really is the ability to play a bit better first base defense. But again, that's just VR, right? So if you throw some lefties into the mix, it's not really comparable, right? So I don't know. I don't really know what to do with this one. I'd probably try playing it and just see how it goes, personally. But it's not like a crazy must-have. But I mean, if you're in a meta and you have the read, it's a bunch of right-handed pitching, he should be on the team. Yeah, absolutely. He's got a ridiculous bat for his right-handed pitching, so...
Next up, Carlos Beltran, the center fielder, 2004 83 gold card, and solid everywhere pretty much except for the BABIP. Again, defensively, not your best choice for center fielder, although you could train him for right field, probably more of a DH situation. Good speed, good stealing and base running. Typical kind of gold card, I guess. Anything stand out for you, Kidneys, about Beltran?
This is a very similar profile to the perfect Beltran we got last year, and I rather like it, right? It's an excellent base stealer, power, eye, a little bit of everything. It's, it's got low BABIP, but it's got the Ks and the gap to make it a little better. Kind of the issue with this is it says qualified for right field, and it doesn't, if it had 1 point of right field, I'd be very happy with this card, just as I understand it. Cards that are qualified but have 0 experience do not play fully trained in tournaments, right? Which is the change this year. If you have any experience, you play like you have max. I'm pretty sure this card plays like it has 0. And I don't really see a spot for it. A lot of the future legends we got are strong in the outfield, or, even some of the older guys like Musial, Berger. I'd probably rather play just because it's such a bad glove in center and it's not quite a DH. And then he doesn't play right field. So, yeah.
Okay. And we'll keep you going along with the other corner fielder here, Reggie Field. One of those cards that does a lot really good, but nothing really great, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Wright Smith is my favorite Reggie Fielder. As for a right fielder, I feel a little differently. He's just a little bit too low. I think my comparison for a lot of people for this card is the Gold Tournament reward Frank Baker. who looks extremely similar, but is just like, 4 to 5 points higher in all the batting stats. And so I think they're just a little bit too low, right? Like if this card was like 4 to 5 points higher on everything, he's probably in the competition. I don't really have him up there as of now. So.
You remember Reggie Smith at all, other than Perfect Team, play the game?
No, he says 1974. I assume he was done playing when I was born, unless he played for another 25 years after this, and then I remembered him as an infant.
Yeah. St. Louis Cardinals, Reggie Smith. All right, next up, we go to the infield, and we have our catchers, and I'm really looking forward to the perfect Ted Simmons because he qualifies for my theme team. This card I would not use for my theme team. Defense, just blows it for me for Ted Simmons. I guess you could make the case for DH, but there are so many options for DH that I don't know if there is a spot for Ted Simmons. Help me. Where could you put Ted Simmons in a lineup for any situation?
I don't have it. It's not an above average gold bat. This is a below average gold bat VR. It's a little better VL. If you do the split of the pitchers overall in the meta, it's like dead even, right? There's a card that's also an 87 that goes by the name Dick Dietz, which actually is famous for being a catcher who couldn't catch, who can hit. And Dick Dietz is actually a slightly better catcher than Ted Simmons defensively, and has we're looking at 10 times the bat value. So I don't know. The Ted Simmons cards haven't been great so far, but Ted Simmons has had really good perfect cards in the past, and I'm hoping we pull one out here because I would love another great Ted Simmons, but this is not it.
Yeah,
even in a format where ability doesn't matter. Dietz is the same era and the same overall and just better everything. So,
this is just a bridge to that perfect card. That's how I see this. You have to have it because if you want the perfect card, you need to own it. So hopefully, like you said, we will get that really good Ted Simmons perfect that we're kind of used to in past versions.
Oh, yeah.
As we move to first base, Eddie Murray with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the 1990 version. Silver Slugger, career high in OPS plus. Again, does a lot really good. What do you think?
This isn't a bad card. And that's kind of the hard issue for me is I think this is like a pretty good card, VR. VL, it's a little below average VL for gold, but VR, it's good. The problem is we're talking about having to compete with Casas and Berkman and Ryan Howard even is still a card. And it only plays first base, right? So you're a first base or a DH, and I just listed 3 better hitters at those positions. If I got this in a perfect draft and I was like, I need a first baseman, right? And I don't have, it's a perfect draft. You can't pick what you want. I'd be pretty happy actually getting my hands on this in a perfect draft, but I probably wouldn't play it in constructed, right? I think some of the other options are just a little bit better. So,
and again, I agree. We're kind of in the build a line. We're kind of in that mid section, right, of the tiers. And as I said before, the bridge cards to get to those higher ones. I think we're going to see a fairly big jump in some of these guys when we get to the diamond, and especially the perfect. But in terms of a niche kind of place to put them, maybe perfect drafts, like you said, if you don't have those other options. And then we've got another low gold with Ben Zobrist. Low gold tournaments, I don't know. Really good eye, multi-positional player, maybe good again in perfect drafts. What do you think about Ben? You must like him, right? Because Ben?
I was a big Ben Zobrist fan growing up just because he's such a fun player, plays everywhere, does everything, right? I'm going to quantify this a little bit. So I've set myself to low gold, right? And I'm looking at it like, does this guy have a spot in low gold? And I really don't think he does. The corner outfield defense is really good. I know some people were talking potentially about playing this in 1919. I think there's a few cards I would rather have. The bat, it would have to be like VL right field 1919, and you could do it. The problem is that level of middle infield defense in 1919 is just too bad to even consider. And while I don't think it's too bad to consider in modern, you need like just a crazy bat to justify it, right? And so even in low gold, there's a lot of these new Future Legend Silver cards have ludicrous bats and kind of comparable gloves, and then you're kind of looking around here, and I'm not really sure where it fits. I think there's like, this is one of those cards that's just kind of very unique in what it does, and it probably could find its way somewhere sometime, but just immediately not seeing it.
And one question too that I get, Kidneys, from new people, new beginners, when we're talking about the corner outfielders, and which one do you need a stronger one? Left field, right field, or are they equally weighted in terms of defense, and which one you should prioritize, left field or right field?
It actually really depends on the format. I think it's almost more important what kind of hitters people are playing, right? Because lefties will hit the ball to right field more often, righties will hit the ball to left field more often. I almost think it's that simple. I have seen historically over the course of this year and last year and out of the park, it seems actually more, maybe not more important, but harder to be good at left field, which I don't think a lot of people realize. And it's not like to the point I'm going to always put my best fielder in left field. Like, for example, outfield arm matters a bit more in right field. You got to think about throwing out the guys as farther, going second to third, things like that. And outfield arm does seem to certainly matter more in right, but I think overall left field is slightly more important than right field.
Okay. Excellent. Good. Now we get to what a lot of times, has been really good shortstops at the higher levels at Diamond and Perfect Cards. George Davis, again, one of those early MLB players. And again, splitty, like a lot of the cards we're seeing lately are very splitty, better against the righties. I was disappointed in the defense on this one, because when you see George Davis, you think defense first. At least I do. Give us your take here. I don't see him. There's just at that key position, I don't see this card being used, but maybe again in low gold. I don't play low gold. What do you think about George?
A lot of the meta gold third basemen are low golds. Like up until today, it was Silver Chipper and like Tomei Batista. Not Bill Joyce, but Tomei Batista are low golds, right? And I don't think it's relatively close. I'm trying to think. The problem is when that contact profile is good, defense is also good, right? Because they kind of, one and the same. They counteract each other. And this card has a contact profile. It doesn't have eye. Eye is so important right now everywhere. But then it just doesn't have the defense to back it up. So he was like, an above average fielder in 1893 at third baseman, but like barely, right? And that's probably what that looks like, And if he was an above average fielder at shortstop, it probably looks very different because of how out of the park system is set up. So I don't know. I just probably not this George Davis. I'm actually, I will say, I think as time's gone on, I've become a bigger fan of the bronze one in certain tournaments versus lefties. I think he's very, very useful. So,
and then the one card that I think, the eye test, you look at and go, wow, this looks really good. And that was the Chipper Jones. So we have kind of two third base cards here with Davies and Jones. Look at that blue, the power in the eye. Our eyes light up in this version of the game when we see that blue and power in eye. Again, defense is not very great. Speed is maybe at average. We don't see any yellow. Chipper Jones, very playable or barely playable? What do you think?
He's excellent. I think also, talking about how lefty heavy gold is at the moment, he's even better. Because when people are throwing Vita, Antonelli, Score, Newhouser, those four, and then one of Baldwin or Peters or somebody a little lower, right? This card will do some damage to those pitchers. His defense isn't too bad either, because a lot of things are kind of relative, right? A lot of people right now are playing Bill Joyce and Jim Tomei and the Silver Chipper and Jose Bautista, and they're all very similar in that aspect. I mean, this is like one of those cards that's a little bit like, why not a 98? And I don't know. He's great. Like, you should absolutely be playing this card VL. You could certainly play him both ways. Like, he's only a little bit probably worse than Tome VR, and then it's like, oh, okay, I found my third baseman, and sometimes you platoon, sometimes you don't. But he should be on your roster no matter what. He's extraordinarily powerful. Yeah.
Good. My read was exactly the same. This is, I think, a must-have card, not only to get the higher tier chippers, but very playable right now, especially against the lefties. Mm-hmm. And like you said, there are other cards. There's the Tome, there's the Bautista. This, to me, blows Bautista away in terms of using him in your line. Well, maybe not blows him away, but is a better
I would
card.
Agree. I would agree. Okay, it's better VR, and then VL, Batista is only good VR, and Chipper's even better VL, right? So,
okay.
This card's one of those cards where, like, everybody knows it's a good card. It's just how good is it actually, right? And whether it's better than every meta card or, like, you could platoon it, you know what I mean? Those are the things I think the spreadsheets are always really helpful at defining, right? Because, anybody knows this is good, and, maybe George Davis is kind of underwhelming, but really kind of getting it down to a science is always very helpful, I feel. So.
And it's always fun, right? When you get the new cards, trying them out, testing them out, drafting them in perfect drafts, and seeing how they play in your league if you're at the lower levels, especially where maybe it's not as important to, you're not as competitive. So yeah, really looking forward to this. Now, I haven't checked the OOTP since we've been on, but I'm assuming to get the gold, there are missions you have to complete. Now, are those missions, you need the silvers, of course, but do you need other cards too to get these?
No, they're only silvers, which is, the pattern they've always been. So they're only silvers. The one caveat is the future legend silvers are included. There's a few that you don't need them in any of the missions but one. Carlos Beltran is in 8 of 10, but there's 3 future legend silvers. So that's kind of the obvious bottleneck. There might be some situations where a card is like 8 of 10 with 2 future legend silvers, and then you need all the other cards, right? And that's a little rough as well. I think that's almost equally as bad. But overall, they didn't seem too hard. I was pretty close to autocomplete. I had been buying cheap historical silvers because I figured this was coming, right? But
all right.
Other
so
than
the
Beltran,
highest,
they seem pretty fine. Yeah.
The highest card you need then is a silver level for any of these.
And I don't think there's any bronzes or irons in them either. I think it is all historical silvers. So.
Oh, all right. Well, let's go on and recap and kind of go through our cards of the set. Now, I have 2 that I could pick for my card of the set, so I'm going to let you go first so that we don't have the same one. What would you consider the card of the set, or the most interesting, the one you're going to have the most fun with for you?
Oh, it's 100% Gold Kenley. I'm going to play Gold Kenley in anything I can play Gold Kenley in. I don't know. It was one of those cards. I was looking at it and I'm like, I'm not sure. The silver is so good. It's so good. And then I had compared it to Tom, and Tom Niedenfuhr is what my sheet considers the best pitcher in gold. And I'm looking at the 2 cards and I'm like, they're very similar. Maybe it is better. And it turns out they're almost identical. You lose some of that absurd V-right power to gain a lot more VL, and I think that's a good trade. So I think Kenley is going to be a huge asset for anybody that has one going forward.
Okay, and for me, just out of curiosity more so, is getting this card in the lineup, the Lance Berkman, seeing how he does against the right-handed pitchers, seeing if he can crush it, make a difference. So platooning him in the game and drafting him in perfect drafts and using him in that platoon situation, we'll see. Yeah, because in tournaments, he can play first base, left field, right field, and he'll be fully trained at center field too. So good utility possibly. So that's the card I'm looking forward to. Again, the Chipper Jones is a great card. It's an awesome card. It's the easy pick for the card of the set, but sometimes we like to look at usability of some of these other cards.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get on to one of my favorite segments, but I didn't do too well last week, and that is the Generation Showdown, the contest, our race to 10, and it is now, this is the wrong slide, it is now 3-1 as I lost last week. So I got 15 points last week, and Kidneys got 16 points. And it was interesting because as we were doing this, we had a fortune teller. I don't know if you noticed this comment, but
I
I had
did notice
15
that
points.
comment.
Yeah. So I had 15 and I thought it was a cakewalk. And Chess Safari types in, my money is on Kidneys with 16. And not only did you get 16, you got one of the best future legends in the pack poll too. Yes.
I got
so the way we run this contest here, for those of you that are just joining in for the first time, we are each going to open 10 packs. And you know what's cool is last week, as I was reading through the comments, there were other people watching who opened up 10 packs as well, and they were keeping track of their point total. And they were saying, I only got 5 or only got 6 points. So I think we did pretty well considering other people got a lot lower. So perfect or LE card, if we pull one of those, it is 7 points. Any diamond card is 5 points. Any card from today, I'm going to basically say if we pull a bronze, build a lineup, then we're going to count that for 4 points. The gold cards are 2 points, and then we got to find out what our mystery card is going to be. As it last week we saw, it made a difference.
Yeah, it did. It really did, actually.
So let's check this out, and I'm hoping for the lap gets free pack. Oh, we are looking for cards that are
55.
55. All right. So you keep track, I'll keep track, and are you ready? Are you ready, Kidneys?
I am ready.
A little bit of a stretch. I go first because I'm still the visiting team. We play 3, or we switch it up every 3 rounds, and 10 packs. This is my second visiting game at Kidneys home stadium. If you had a home ballpark, would it be a hitter's park, a pitcher park, or somewhere in between?
I would change it every single year based on my team. I'm not messing around. These MLB owners could learn a thing or two from Perfect Team and really min-max their advantages a little bit more. So.
Well, like Detroit did, I think. Weren't they the most recent ballpark change?
There's a bunch of recent ones. Toronto did it this year as well, but they should be doing it every year. Stats, numbers, come on, don't let anybody sleep on it. So.
All right, so here we go. We've been doing fairly well with the pack polls recently, with getting some pretty good cards. I'm ready to open up my 10. What are we looking for? 55?
Yeah, 55s.
Okay.
Chat, if you could spend $30 million a year on a star player, you can spend $20 million a year renovating your park. It's really pretty advantageous to do so.
Yeah, I don't know how well that would go over with the poorer owners, but all right. Greg Maddux, 72 Greg Maddux, not too bad. One of the April Fool's card, but I don't see any 55. So pack number 2. Oh, I thought that was a build a lineup.
No.
We're close. 2 dud packs so far. Pack number 3.
Ooh, Wally Pip.
I'm teasing the 55 a lot, but not quite getting it. Okay, pack number 4. Hey, there we
that's
go.
4.
I am being rewarded for choosing Lance Berkman as my card of the set. That's true. We have, so how many? That was 4 points, right? Yeah.
Yes, 4 points for that. Yep.
Okay. Pack number 5.
Oh, 55.
55. Reese McGuire. Okay, let's keep rolling. Pack number 6. Nothing there. Pack number 7. Duds. Number 8. This is where we need to kind of have a breather.
Time out. Tactical timeout. 2 packs to go.
2 packs to go. I'm not feeling confident with a score of 5. I need at least another build a lineup card. I want to get to at least 9. Let's see. Pack number 9. Oh,
Oh,
the timeout work, kidneys. Strategic
it did.
timeout.
The timeout was massive.
Woo.
Shouldn't have made fun of the timeout. So that's another that doubles your score.
So that's 5 points. And who do we have?
Ooh, historical. Not bad.
Rich Gossage.
In the rich
Nice.
mission as well, can we get a professional in here?
Okay, one more to go. Everything else is kind of bonus. I'm feeling comfortable with 10 points, but let's see if we can get one more. Hey, we got one more.
You got 55. I saw the 56. I didn't see the 55. So
We got a 55. So late inning rally. And that is, let me just double check here. I think that is 11 points. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is 11. Okay.
It's not bad.
Here we go. We got the kid
All
up
right.
now. We got the Zoomer.
Let's do it. Nothing. Let's keep going.
Right. Pack number 2.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's 4 points.
4 points right there.
4 points. 2 packs in. I'm
Darn
feeling
it.
pretty
The
good
double
now.
gold.
Let's keep going. No 55.
Nope.
Still no 55s. Come on.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
That's a very low pack. Not quite a golf pack, but it's close.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's a build a lineup.
another
So
card we talked about. That is another 4 points. That puts you up at 8, just over the halfway mark. We are heading into the 6th inning. Any build a lineup, any diamond, or any, of course, perfect card, and you win.
55.
Oh.
We're getting closer. We're at 9. A gold would tie it now with 3 to go.
3 to go, 9 points. A gold will tie it. No gold. Oh, good. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bottom of 8. What do we got? Nothing. Okay, so we're bottom of the 9th. We've got the heart of your order coming up here. Your 3, 4, 5 hitter. All you need is a gold or higher. Gold to tie or higher to win.
Oh! We've tied
Not
it.
quite the walk-off. Not quite a walk-off, but
What's
we
our
do
tiebreaker?
have a tie. Oh, 11 to 11. Well, we haven't discussed, we didn't have any kind of situation where a tie would come up. How about we spin the wheel and, well, what do you want to do? What do you think is a good tie break? Should we leave it as a tie?
Like a 5-pack runoff. Who scores the
5
most
packs?
packs?
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it.
5 packs? All right. So you get your packs ready, and we do have a break coming up. So talk about a cliffhanger. We have a break coming up here, guys. Stay tuned. Will the kid make it 3-2 in the series, or will Lap take a commanding lead in the race to 10? So we'll be back after this extended ad break, guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you back in about 3 minutes. All right, we are back. Our first extra innings game of the series here. That 9th inning shot. Really, that's 2 weeks in a row. Kidneys has hit something late in the game. So being the visitor, I will go up first again here. So we're going to do a 5-pack showdown, and hopefully that will be enough to break the tie. Okay, let's do this. Looking for a 55 or one of the other ones here. 53. All right, nothing. You must have Kenley in the game here. Let's see, pack number 2. Uh-oh. Pack number 3. Little
Already
psychological.
5 out in extra innings too. Do they refresh?
Yeah, oh, they do. Psychological warfare, kidneys. Okay.
With what, the computer?
Well, you know how good AI is these days. I'm sure it.
That's true.
2 more innings. Here we go. 2 more packs. Uh-oh. How about a limited edition Lombardi? Let's end it off with that.
Wow, that's a big call.
Oh,
We got something.
did get a gold, so I'm not a goose egg here. We've got the Bobby Jenks 85 card, so that will be 2 points. Not a very high bar for you to have to pass. All you're going to have to need is a gold and a 55.
All right.
Here we go. Kidney's turn. 5 packs.
Nothing here. Nope, that's another very close to a golf pack.
Pack 3. Uh-oh, 2 packs to go. You feeling nervous?
Oh! Tim Anderson coming through.
You and your
and a
late.
55 for good measure.
So that's what did we say for diamond? 5? Was it 5 for a diamond?
It's 5 for a diamond, so that's 6, and I still have a pack. Do I open the next pack
Yes,
as well?
yes. Open your last pack.
All right, we're breaking the unwritten rules of baseball here. We're scoring more runs after we've won the game. Oh, it's another 2 points. Bubbles Hargrave.
Crushed me. So what did you get? You got 8 points in extra innings.
Yeah, 8 in extras.
And I
That's a
got
pretty
2.
sweet extra innings.
That is.
I'm Wander Franco yesterday, throwing the ball up in the air on a routine put out to catch it and throw the guy out.
Yeah, I saw that. How
I love it.
Imagine
if you messed up, because there's no, like, the only reason to ever do that is to look cool. I love that you did that. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, and to show your confidence there. So a lot of confidence there. So congratulations. Little high five on this side. Oh, there we go. Oh, hey, there we go. High five there.
Very confused.
That is going to make things a little bit, a lot closer now, as it will now be 3-2.
It's a lot better than 4-1.
Yeah, I was now I'm getting nervous, kidneys. Now I'm getting nervous. All right, let us end off here with the moment you've been waiting for. We won't have ad breaks kicking in to interrupt this one here.
I know.
It has something. Can you match last week, though, when you're talking about the having streamers stay on extra for the drops?
And drops is a very, drops rant I've done many, many times. I was well practiced. This is kind of a newer one for me, but I've seen it a lot this year, so we're gonna talk about it a little bit.
Are you going to need to share anything, or just the timer?
Just the timer, my friend.
Okay, just
some water.
Everyone, the kidneys rant, and please, no interruptions. Let them cook.
Are we going 3, 2, 1? Let's go. Hi. This has come up a lot recently. Please stop buying cards for your league team. Now, that's a really weird thing to say, right? Like, well, isn't the point of the game to make your team better and play the game? It is. But unless you're planning on, like, just buying every single card in the entire game, spend points elsewhere. Buy live cards for live spec. Buy, cards you think are going to end up missions for cheap prices, and then you can resell them. Buy cards for your tournament team. Make your tournament teams better. League doesn't make you any money. It really doesn't. There's almost no money gained whatsoever from playing in a league. And the problem is when you keep shooting these marginal upgrades into your lineup that aren't really even that good in the first place, without a goal even. Like right now, you can't even hit perfectly, right? There's no purpose. You're floating aimlessly, right? Like, do something with your money that's going to make you more money. Then you can upgrade the league team when you're actually trying to compete and win. Hot take, really hot take, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about this. Diamond is really weak this year. I know I have a lot of cards, but you could probably enter like a gold roster into Diamond and make the playoffs. It's not hard. Just put the work in, right? And don't keep buying like all these things that are just going to make you a little bit better, but it's still not enough, right? Like, you're not going to win. You're not going to make perfect with this, right? And that's not a fun way to play the game, really. And if you're just here to have fun, I don't know why you're listening to me ever. But yeah, stop buying league cards. Do other things. Make money with your money. There you go.
All right, good, cool. Now, there were a few chats in the comment. Of course, theme teams is a whole different, kettle of fish when you're buying cards. You're doing it for the fun reason, as you mentioned. And speaking of theme teams, how is your theme team coming along? Has it kicked off yet?
I told EVC I was taking a 2-week vacation after I made the theme team. I've not touched it yet. That means actually I was supposed to edit it today, so maybe we'll go look where it is today. Enter into the spreadsheet, friend all the people. I can't assume it's gotten very far in 2 weeks' time with those players, but it's a rather fun theme team. Maybe I'll stream some point over the weekend and we can work on improving it, making some tournament rosters or whatnot to make it a little better. So,
all right, well, hang on there for a second, kidneys. We are going to get our giveaway started up here. So again, if you guys want a chance to win 10 packs or 5 packs, exclamation ticket or exclamation enter will get you into the contest. We're going to draw 2 different names. First name drawn will be for 10 standard packs and the second one for 5 standard packs. Speaking of packs, since we're doing the giveaway here, kidneys, what do you recommend in terms of buying packs? Because that's another controversy. You talked about buying cards. How about buying packs?
So I'm going to be a shill here. I'm going to sell out for one of my friends. If you don't know who Snellman is, why don't you? You should. He's one of the best tournament players, great friend of mine. He did his first stream a few days ago. On the stream, he showed off a tool he's had for a long time, which is just a pack evaluator. I know some people have these. A lot of times I've seen they have a bit of errors. Snailman posted it. He's renting a room in my Discord. He posted in there. You want it, you get it. You paste the card list in there from the card shop. It tells you what your average return on packs are. It'll tell you, what are the odds of getting a specific card. You don't have to guess anymore. You can just go get Snailman's little tool he's made and find out for yourself. So, in general, it is... it's standard packs most of the time. There's some exceptions. I think a lot of people sleep on, if you're confident a bunch of gold cards are going up in a live update, you could buy gold packs, sell the ones that are going down, keep the ones that are going up after you've already acquired 10 of those, so you're adding on a number you couldn't achieve anyway, right? I think that's a thing a lot of people miss, but most of the time it's just standard if you really want to buy. A lot of times they aren't even that good to begin with, but they're always kind of close, at least these days, as people are still doing live missions and a bunch of other things. So. And
if you're not in YourKidnies Discord yet, there's the link right there. Get into YourKidnies Discord. Valuable information, not only from YourKidnies, but from all the other members of the Discord too, passing along their little gems of information to help you in perfect team, in tournaments, in league play, all those other kind of things. Get involved in YourKidnies Discord. And follow YourKidnies again on Twitch. Make sure you do that. Every stream, you're going to find something valuable to take out of it. And I also see the commish is in the house. The commish, the draft is coming up. One of the most highly anticipated aspects of online league play is the draft. And I believe May 8th or May 9th is when the draft is coming up. I have a created player in that, so I'm hoping he goes first round, because then I can ask for the big money if I'm a first round pick.
Kabish's draft is always an incredible experience. The level of work and detail he and all the other people working on the EMLB put into it is awesome. Definitely check that out when that happens. Somebody's saying it's Monday night, so that's one of my favorite shows to watch is Kabish's draft. Also, I will say on my Discord, too, like you said, it's a great place to be. If you want to talk to me, I don't stream enough, so it's a great place to get to Just ask questions. There's so many great players in there. If you like Perfect Team, it's a good place to be. And you can find all the sheets I use to evaluate cards, or on the Discord for free. There's just a button you click and you can download it to Excel or whatever similar program you have and take a look at those. So,
and maybe Kidneys, throw the link in the in this program's private chat here, because apparently the last one has expired. So do that.
I can make you a permanent one. So,
okay. Excellent. And then I can post that all the time. We're going to give you guys about another 30 seconds here in the giveaway. Exclamation ticket, exclamation enter to get in on this giveaway. While Kidneys is doing that, I want to give you guys a big shout out, big thank you for supporting me, for supporting this program, for supporting everything I do on Twitch and on YouTube. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube after the fact, I noticed Kidneys left a comment on one of my YouTube videos once. Trying to troll me, aren't you? Is that the
No, I was trying to troll
word?
Me. That guy you always have on is just so loud and obnoxious and doesn't know what he's talking about, so.
I think the community would differ on that. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We are in such a weird world today, financially, politically, socially. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, help them out, donate to the food bank, help out wherever you can with a neighbor. Again, it makes the world a much better place. It is a great day for baseball. It always is. Go Blue Jays, go. Good to see you making a run, and good luck to everyone that's in the championship series on Saturday. Going to be a lot of fun, and you get that Yaz card or 2 or 3. It's definitely going to make your team a lot better. Any closing comments here before we close the contest here, Kidneys?
No, I mean, as always, thank you for having me on and putting most of this together, and, just give me a little place where I can yell about cards, because that's what I love to do. I've loved doing that for years. So, and thanks everybody for tuning in. It's great. If you want to throw the Discord link out there, I gave you an updated one. So that one will never die. It'll always work if people want to join that. I think it's a pretty great community there. So.
Okay, and thanks for putting together that contest, and it was a lot of fun. It's different being on the opposite end. Usually, I'm the one creating them and making fun of the person taking it, but yeah, it was really fun. So,
I mean, I will say, like, a lot of times, I've done this before. A lot of times when older people have me on, they like to quiz me on things that I wasn't alive for, and I'm giving you things that you've witnessed in real time you just didn't know about. So.
That's true. All right, 10 seconds left in the contest. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the giveaway is closed. 98 entries. Wow, 98 entries. So you got just over a 1% chance of winning. First name drawn, 10 packs. Make sure I get your Perfect Team username, and let's do this.
Laptop Hound, your Discord link is also invalid.
Who is it?
Yeah.
Discord, you Discord people. Okay, I will. Let me just because I can do that very quickly here.
Yep.
Copy. Now, how often do they? Is it like once a week that they?
You can. I mean, I think default is like a day. So you can, when you creating the link, right? So when you click invite people,
Yep.
you can at the bottom hit edit invite link, and then expire. You click on that. You click never, and then number of uses. You just click no limit, and then you can make a permanent link. So.
Okay, here we go. First winner is. Well, that's just peachy. Sounds familiar. I think, well, that's just peachy won recently as well in one of the contests. So congratulations. Well, that's just peachy. I believe I still have your username for Perfect Team. So congrats. Well, that's just peachy. Yeah. Time to get another kind of ticket, because 1% chance of winning, just over. And the winner of 5 standard packs is going to NJ Dan Esquire. New Jersey Dan Esquire. Congratulations. You've won 5 standard packs. Put your PT username in the chat there for me, and we will make sure that those packs get off to you in the next 24 to 48 hours. So hang tight. Got to wait for confirmation from NJ Dan in the chat here. most often people are still here and they don't want to give up their free packs, but hey, we will check. NJ Dan's rigged. Well, looking forward to next week's set. I think we're going to get some really good historical cards coming out next week. Thank you once again, Kidneys, for joining in. I will let you go. I know you've got a busy day. It's Star Wars Day. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to, let me find it here. Where do we have that wonderful, wonderful tribute to Star Wars? May the 4th be with you. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. New Jersey Dan Esquire. Give you another 15 seconds to get things in here. Nothing on my Twitch whispers. Or we need some elevator music. All right.
What is
New
the
Jersey Dan. New
that
Jersey.
TV show, the default waiting music? I always forget what that's called.
All right, NJ Dan Esquire doing the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we got to do another draw here, guys. Plenty of time. I was fair with that. So the winner of 5 packs will be Ultimate Phenom. Ultimate Phenom, if you are in the chat. Once again, put your perfect team username. You have won 5 standard packs from Out of the Park Developments. And there we go. Same as Twitch, Ultimate Phenom. There we go. We've got it. We've got our 2 winners. Your Kidneys, as always. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Perfect Team live tomorrow. Going to add a whole new dimension to the game. We didn't even get a chance to talk about that. We'll evaluate it maybe next time.
Words look good. It'll be a lot of fun. So,
all right. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to raid into another streamer here. So if you didn't get all your drops, hang tight. We'll take you immediately there. Again, great day for baseball. We'll see you next episode.